Today I want to post a video directed to the parents of the world. Our Creator is getting ready to destroy most of the human life on this planet because they have rejected His offer to be made in His image. Part of the reason for this is because generation after generation, the parents of this world have refused the commandment that our Creator gave us to teach our children the narrow path that He gave us to walk on. You might say that most have never heard of this path. Well, this is true, but we can all be traced back to the original two parents and to the four sets of parents who came off of the boat after that. The commandment to teach our children was outlined by Moses in Deuteronomy 6. He commanded us, he said, "And you shall love Yahweh Elohim with all of your heart and with all of your soul and with all of your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligently to your children, and you shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up." Have you done this? Or have you taught them the lies of Saul of Tarsus, who led you and therefore them to a different path? Show me the parent who has taught their children to walk in His Torah as He commanded when they rise up and as they walk through the day and such, and before they go to bed and such, and to teach them to even meditate on it in their night watches. There have been so few. Some of you might say that the Jewish people have done this. Really? What they teach their children, the true path, or their perverted version of it with their 613 mitzvah? And of course they reject their Messiah altogether anyway. Is this teaching their children how to have eternal life? I want to insert that it is not your responsibility that they choose His path when they get older, but it is your responsibility to teach it to them when they are young. In order to understand just how much of an abomination that it has been that you have taught your children lies, you have to understand why we were created. We were created to be made in our Creator's image. He gave us a blueprint to accomplish this. By you and the parents that have gone before you rejecting His blueprint, you have been in fact teaching your children a different path. If you have not taught them any religious path at all, you have still in fact taught them a different path. And all other paths, apart from the single and straight path that He gave us to mold us in His image with, leads to the lake of fire. It's plain and simple. So you see, you have been offering your children up in the fire by following Satan's paths instead of your Creator's path. This was by design because He had to give us free will to accomplish what He was building in the first fruits. We had to have the choice and Satan has been used to weed out those who did not want to be made in their Creator's image and to be in their Creator's family with all of their being. This is why it has taken nearly 6,000 years just to call out 144,000 who have turned to His path in spirit and in truth. Do you know how small of a number this is percentage-wise of all of the people who have lived during this time? It is a very, 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 very small number. There are only less than 200 who are still alive of this number today, and there are over 7 billion people in the world. It is flat wicked that mankind has rejected the commandment to love Yahweh Elohim with all of their heart, and to teach their children to do the same, and to teach Him and to learn how to love Him with all of our heart, soul, and mind, and even to how to love our neighbors and such. We have to walk on His Torah to learn that. And of course, we have to have His 7 spirits guiding us as well, but I've talked about that in other videos, and what is conditional to even have His 7 spirits. Instead, man has it at best. Most have taught their children to love make-believe gods made in the image of man, who they wanted Him to be. And now you're about ready to see His wrath poured out on you for this abomination and for the rest of your abominations. But you do not have to die. You can turn from that which is false and cry out for deliverance. One of the biggest abominations that you're going to have atoned for is your failure to teach your children to live by His every word. Like I said, instead you taught them to live lies or nothing at all, which is the same end result. This has been blasphemous to why he gave you and them life. He has been building a family, and by not teaching them the one true path, you did not teach them how to have eternal life in his family. I suggest that you get off your high horses and start crying out for forgiveness and start learning what the condition for having your Messiah's blood applied to your transgressions is. I can guarantee you that it is not Saul of Tarsus's false salvation by grace doctrine that comes through a make-believe faith in a make-believe Messiah that came out of the imagination of Satan. All false religions have come from the author of lies, Satan, and the truth is a narrow path. The true Messiah shed his blood so that you could have his Father's Torah written in your hearts and in your minds, so that you could learn to be made in his image. And this is what the true message of salvation that we were to teach our children. This is why you were given life. The information in these videos explains the truth that he is restoring to prepare a people for the coming era of time when Satan will be bound. Make straight your paths while you still can, and mourn over your abominations, including the abominations that you have taught your children to live a lie, and sending them on their way to the lake of fire. If you have young children today and you agree to teach them the way that they should go in the future, should you be delivered, he will deliver them as well. What an awesome opportunity that is being given to you. You can give them an opportunity for eternal life by yourself repenting. But of course it has to be genuine. You have to really want this. If not, they will be stripped away from you to try to humble you. And they have good news for you regarding those whom have rejected the truth over the past nearly 6,000 years. My Father has a backup plan to offer them salvation as long as they have not committed the unpardonable sin. This backup plan is in the future when there will be a great resurrection. I suggest that you choose life today so that you can be there to be a part of that resurrection into life. Choose life so that your children can be delivered with you. Turn from the lies and cry out to him to be made in his image, and he will deliver you and your young children as well. What an opportunity to give them, because it's going to be an awesome era of time when Satan is bound and everybody's going to learn to do it their Creator's way, and they're going to learn what true love is, what true selfless love is. And it's just something that's incredible to look forward to, but we're going to go through quite the purging process to purge out the people who don't want to be a part of it. So, and he's getting ready to let loose his fury.